Here we go. Hey, everything on 3. Number 3. Wait on 1. Oh. Wait on 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Hey, next up from that. Eyes on 3. Everything on 3 and 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast. It's your boy, Chazz, and joining me, we'll start to my right over here. We got the no nickname, no nonsense.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Adam Van Houten. Adam, what's up, dog?
What's up, guys? What's going on? It's good to be back in the studio.
Right, we took another week off.
Another little hiatus.
No talking. You're not introduced yet. You're not allowed to talk. Speaking of that, to my left, we got the man, the myth, the legend. It's Jay Coleman, y'all. Jay, what's up, dog?
What's up?
How you feeling?
Feeling good?
We had a bad week, but we'll get into that. And special guest on the show for the first and hopefully not the last time. And we're all on our best behavior right now because we've got the... I don't know. I don't even have a fancy nickname. The wifey of the Fantasy Football Podcast. We got Jay's wife, Tracy. Tracy.
Hey guys, how are you?
Why did you like this? This is terrible.
What do you expect from a Mets fan?
Oh, shots fired.
Aren't you a Mets
He's sleeping
fan,
on the
Jay?
couch tonight.
Yeah, my couch. And there goes Tracy out the door. Up there goes the car speeding off.
Somebody's couch.
The car's speeding off. Right there it goes. Oh, it's out. I'm getting good
Jay,
with this.
you got a lot of red coming down your sleeves there, man. You want me to pull the knife out, or should I leave it in?
No, you can leave it.
All right, we'll leave it in for the show.
All right.
I'm used to it this season.
Yeah, you had a rough one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh well. We'll get into like the fantasy football stuff, but we got to talk about what's going on in the world of Buffalo. The reason we took the week off. I mean, I did do the update as you all got about it, but we got some fantastic news today. Of Damar Hamlin is back home in Buffalo, in the hospital in Buffalo.
Less than a week.
Less than a week.
He's still in the
Yeah.
hospital, having his test done,
Literally
recovering.
at
but
this
he's
time,
at
1
least
week ago.
here.
At this time, 1 week ago, as we're recording, Damar Hamlin was dead. It's 9:02 p.m. right now. He was dead right now. And, like, that's crazy to think. I mean, me and Adam were watching that game together with Rockstar Robbie Vegas. And we were just sitting there watching it. And, like, you know, it happened. And we're like, oh, there's an injury timeout. And we're sitting there chatting. And then they come back on and say, well, they're administering CPR on the field. And the whole bar just went, like, silence.
Yeah. We
was
were
like
watching
a-
at home.
Yeah, it was like that Scooby-Doo moment, you know, when they like look at each other really fast. They said CPR, and Chazz and I were just like, what? That shocked look.
Yeah, same.
Of disbelief wait, did we just hear that right?
Yeah.
CPR?
I mean, it happened so fast, too. Like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, like, it happened so fast in real time that I didn't even really see what happened. I just knew he was, like, on the ground at the point, and then, like, they cut to, they're like, oh, injury timeout, and they commercial, whatever.
Yeah.
They come back, and they're still, like, messing around, like, oh, this can't be good. And then, yeah, they were like, everyone started freaking out.
So at first, for me, when I saw it, I saw Hamlin get up and fall back down. I thought he got a concussion, and it was, holy shit, this dude's, he just got his bell rung. He's concussed. He fell backwards. And we're watching, like Chaz said, we were chatting, and then they came back, 20 minutes later and said CPR, and we were like, oh, that's not a concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's unheard of at that point. I mean, we've seen plenty of concussions, and being Buffalo fans, we've seen a few, paralyzing incidences. Yeah, that's the right word.
Incidences.
But like,
Actually, I have no idea.
So that's kind of like what just was in my mind as worst case was, and I mean that's still a terrible case, but like you didn't think someone was dead.
No.
Especially with that hit, like...
No, yeah, at first, yeah, I thought it was concussion too, and then, like, I seen the replay, And I was like, I seen him fall, and I was like, that's no concussion. So,
Like, don't get me wrong. Do I want to take T. Higgins' shoulder to the chest? No. But it didn't look.
well, he basically, I mean, it's like 1 in a million chance because his heart had to beat right at the exact moment that he was getting hit, which caused it to knock itself out of its normal arrhythmia. So, but I mean, we were both watching it. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Tracy?
I'm just happy that he's okay.
Oh, we definitely all are, for sure.
With no brain damage or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's a miracle.
It was certainly a long week.
Yeah, we're all very happy that he's basically okay.
Yeah, as far as we know right now, yeah.
You know, as of 9 p.m. on Monday, the week after, he is at a hospital in Buffalo. He's walking. I mean, the dude's flying.
Walking, talking,
Yeah.
having Zoom meetings with the teammates.
Yeah.
Doing all kinds of stuff.
I mean, a week ago, I don't think any of us would have said he would have been where he is now. So,
You know, I will say this about the whole thing. I think that was probably the most terrifying thing about the whole thing is that we didn't know anything for 2 days.
yeah.
It happened Monday night, right? Oh, we know that he went to the hospital. We know that he was administered CPR on the field. We know that he was administered CPR again when they got to the hospital in the ambulance. And then you heard nothing from anybody until Wednesday when he finally opened his eyes.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm with Chazz watching this game. I didn't even know what to feel hearing all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that was all new to me. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, I was
in my entire life.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know about you guys, but that's probably the craziest. All the sports I've watched, it's probably the craziest thing I've ever seen.
And then to like live the next day here in Buffalo, I do a lot of shopping for the restaurant on Tuesday. That's when I'm doing my run around. And the 4 stores I walked into were just like ghosts. Nobody was there.
Yeah, nobody was
and
around.
The few people that were in the one, I mean, nobody was talking. It was really weird for a couple of days here. And I felt like shit for a few days. I really did. I didn't start feeling good about it until like Friday. Until the team. You know what helped me make me feel better when I saw like the picture of Josh Allen and Trey White like smiling and laughing.
Yeah.
And I said this. I said this to Adam in the bar, and I might have said it in our group chat that like if something like bad negatively outcome for Damar in the situation that was in front of, I think that was going to ruin Trey White's career, and he was going to retire. Because he was already having a hard time mentally and coming back from his injury, and he looked like a broken man during this. And I don't think it would have been. I just think he would have been done, and who would have anything to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel bad for the guys who witnessed it. To having witnessed something so traumatic.
For as traumatic as it was for everyone watching it, I mean, I can only imagine how actually living it and being there and seeing it in person.
And we didn't see the CPR.
No.
Like 9 minutes of CPR. Like CPR is vigorous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, oh God, it's just awful thoughts, and just like so.
I mean, most people don't see anyone getting defibbed either. So
True.
And like 9 minutes is a long time. Like you think about it, they had to cut his jersey open, cut his pads open, cut his helmet off in order to do this. And Tracy's having a good time over there.
Pickles found her new home.
I think she smells your dogs.
Probably. She's like, now they're going to smell me.
We had, are your dogs girls or boys?
girls.
Girls. So that's all right. We're all a bunch of girls. It's all good.
That's right.
So another thing that people didn't realize with this injury, and it's okay to talk about now, Skip Bayless, that the injury's kind of in the rearview mirror, is like this really, really impacted fantasy football. And we are a fantasy football show.
Yeah.
And the time of the last, I guess, podcast I made, the video I made, I had no answers for anybody, and we just didn't know. So obviously the game was canceled.
Right.
So I took the
everything
approach.
was scored as is.
And I took the approach in all my leagues, as well as the other leagues I was in. The commissioners took the approach of logic, meaning like if you needed 40, 50 plus points from one player, you didn't win. If the game was even and you both had about the same amount of points of players, I mean, that's a toss up. I'm thankful that everybody in my 2 leagues who won money agreed with the situation. So in the Fantasy Football Bros League, I won. I had a 30-point lead with Gabe Davis. He had Joe Mixon. I said to Chad, I was like, well, what do you think, Chad? Because honestly, I think I won. And he's like, I think you won too. He didn't argue.
I don't think anybody really argued.
Where in the other league, though, they were a couple points apart, and they both had a lot of people left. And when I mean a lot of people, I'm talking Joe Burrow,
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins.
Like all these people. And you could not pick a winner. I mean, and they agreed to split. So, and also in third place league, in our main league, your brother would have needed the same exact thing that Chad would have needed, 40 points from one player plus.
Yeah.
From Stephon Diggs. And he was like, no, I didn't win. The other guy won.
Yeah.
So, like, I was thankful in that aspect with the leagues I run. And then the other league that I'm in, they took the same approach. My sister was in the championship, and she needed 40-plus points from Stephon Diggs to win. And they said, Lisa, you're taking second place. I mean, do you have any problems with that? And she was like, no. So I'm thankful that we're surrounded by a bunch of logical... because if anyone wanted to make up an argument and fight it, we would have had to split it, right? Like,
well, here's the thing. I really think the only argument that you could have made is if they rescheduled the game and started it over. Or not over, but where it picked up and
that's
left off.
what we were waiting
and then you get points for everybody that played. But they didn't do that. They just canceled it outright. So anything that happened in the game, I know it was a short period of time, but that's just it. That's just it. That's how we have to do it. And, I mean, I think a lot of people were fantasy leagues across the nation were all in the same boat, you know, and I think that's what the impact of this whole injury was as a whole. It impacted an entire nation because it was a national game being televised. Millions of people watched what happened.
It's the last Monday Night Football game of the year because there's not one today, obviously. And it was...
And that's how it goes
the
out.
biggest game of the year. It had so
many playoff implications
and
attached
fantasy
to it,
football.
and fantasy football.
I mean, you're going into the final game of your fantasy football league. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Dawson Knox, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon. Like, these are dogs. Not to mention the both kickers, Bills defense at least. Maybe somebody started Cincinnati. There's a lot of people, you know, that are playing in these fantasy football championships. So, you know, I'm grateful to all you guys in the league out there for not fighting and arguing, because it wasn't a decision to be made either. I mean, I just didn't sit there and ruled with iron fist. I talked to both of these guys. We both had a long discussion about it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's tough because you have to go through every single scenario that you can possibly think of to figure out a fair way to do it.
Because, you know, it's sad to say, but it's money, and money matters.
Yeah. Sure.
So, and I was in a pickle because I won. And this decision is pushing me.
Yeah, there's an asterisk next to your name.
But I would have made this decision. I would have had that same decision if it was anybody. Like, it just seems fair. I don't think logically he had a chance, right? And it was just like, if it was reversed, I would have said the same.
Well, if you want to use
thing.
logic, no, there's definitely a chance. And I pointed that out to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
But I do agree that the percentage was in your favor for sure.
Like, if you had... Like, if Chad had, like, maybe Diggs or Allen, I think it was like 40 points. I could see more.
I think
there being
anybody
an
else that he had comboed with Mixon, it would have been different. But it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was just Joe Mixon. He was down by 30.
Yeah,
and Chad still had a player, and he had Mixon. So
like Joe Mixon would have had to have 43 points. I said that. You know, Gabe Davis 12 points.
Yeah,
that's a baseline for him sometimes.
True.
So, like, well, sometimes he gets 2, but he also had a 40-point game. So it's the same. You had that argument that Joe Mixon had a 50-point
I completely agree.
And I had the argument that Gabe Davis had a 40-point.
Right.
So it's like...
Well, that's why I said
it wasn't
there
meant
would be
to
more
be
of an argument if it was a guy like Allen or Diggs that can put up 40.
Right.
And you could have been like,
I didn't mean for it to be any sort of argument. It was just a scenario that needed to play out. And we talked about it and we figured it out. And
Chad's problem wasn't the fact that this happened. Chad's problem is he got murdered with injuries. He was missing Jalen Hurts. He was missing DeAndre Hopkins. He was missing Tony Pollard. Like, those are his 3 highest scoring players, probably.
Yeah.
At least over the last few weeks. So Chad was done before the game even started. You're right, and he knew it. He GG'd me at like 2:30 on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. So, like, that was over. But his game in the other league with Dave, That was a split. Dave probably had a chance of winning, but I mean, they were so close. And even the final projection, I know we don't go off of projections, but the final projection between them was like 2 points. How can you call a winner?
Yeah.
And they graciously both split, and then our third place games, they all worked out. So, like, I'm grateful for everything. But given the fact now that this is behind us and I am the winner.
You are. And congratulations is in order. So
A small amount. Congratulations. I mean, this is like winning.
hey, listen, fantasy football is hard. Okay, you were in 8 leagues. You won 1.
I almost won 2.
but
Almost doesn't count.
To be fair, this is like winning the NBA in the bubble, so it's definitely a little asterisk.
It's fine. I don't care. I'll take it. I'll take it. And I am taking it too because I won and I would have won anyway, and we all know that. But this is cool because this is the first year of the league, so I'm the inaugural champion. That's awesome.
Sure.
I've never done that in a league.
In your history of fantasy football, you've never your first year in a league, you've never won.
That's not true. I think I did in one of Goose's leagues, but I don't remember for sure. So it's like cool to do that. And this is a tough league. I handpicked all the best players. NJ,
Dude, let me tell you how tough this league is. We have so many
did you even hear that joke?
bench players. No, I didn't.
I said I took all the best players. NJ.
True.
No,
I took all Jay's best players, and then they didn't do it. They didn't do anything anyway.
Yeah, they didn't help you out.
I think Gibson ended up with more points than JT, and he missed the last 3 games.
So this was my thoughts on the league. I wanted to make it a tough league, and I wanted to make it competitive because I wanted to show myself at least that I'm good. So I'm in another league with Dave, who is in both of our leagues, and his league is the exact opposite, shorter bench. And he's like, and he said something to me once that clicked. He's like, well, there's nobody ever out there on waivers, so we're going to keep benches short. So there's people out there. And that clicked in my head. I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's your league. You do whatever you want. But, like, at the same time, I think to be ahead of the game, bigger benches are for that. And now this is, like, something that played out for me and that I'm going to, like, take a victory lap on. It's not my big victory lap for the winning the championship, but, like, week 8 or 9, it was like, I need running back depth. I have Christian McCaffrey and a bunch of people. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take Rashad White. He's not playing, but maybe he's going to take over a lot of snaps from Leonard Fournette. And wouldn't you believe it? By week 11, he's my starting running back, right? Because I was ahead of the game. And if I didn't make that decision... Now, he didn't bring me any huge weeks, but he was already always solid, always getting me about 15 points from an RB2, and I'll take that. You know what I mean? And I was happy with that. And that was like, showed me the kind of, that's what you need out of this league. Now, you were saying it was, so you thought it is much harder with the deep bench, right?
Yes, and the reason being is because there's just, you're drafting guys that you have no idea who they are. You're keeping all these players, but it's a lot harder than having a short bench, in my opinion. Because I have a league that has a short bench as well. We only have 5 bench players, and trying to decide who to keep on your bench and who to drop, and and that's a keeper league too. So that makes it even harder. This is not a keeper league, which makes it a little simpler to add and drop people because you don't have to worry about what round he was in or this and that. But having the bigger bench, it just had so many people, and then trying to figure out who to start every week. I picked up Pacheco and Bam Knight and a couple other guys, and I'm like, wow, these guys might deserve a spot in my starting lineup. So it's like trying to figure out who to play, and having 2 flexes is.
I think it's more fun.
It's more fun, but it's definitely difficult.
Well, I think it's more fun. And like another major move I made for 1 week, and it totally won me a week. And every week matters. But like I remember the week that JT was hurt and I picked up Deion Jackson. He had like 30 points. He had like 10 receptions for 100 yards. You remember that game? And then I tried to trade him to you and you would take him. That's fine.
Wait, who is that?
Deion
Jackson? Yeah.
He had one game. And that's the week I started.
And you tried to sell him so fucking high.
That's what you do. That's what you do.
Chazz's MO over here.
That's and look where I am, baby.
And it didn't matter because Jonathan Taylor didn't do shit. True. And then got hurt again.
True.
Well, what do you think about
my playoff game?
The big benches?
I don't know. This whole year was tough, so.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think Jay has any opinions anymore.
He needs to regroup. He needs to rebuild.
He needs to chill out and come back next year.
He needs to rebuild. He needs to get.
Hey, I was doing fine in fantasy football until you showed up, so that's your fault. I'm blaming you. You're like you
Don't
put
hit
out
me,
this
man.
negative energy.
Negative energy. I'm just
Yes.
better.
Maybe you started listening to him instead of me, and this is what happens.
True sabotage.
maybe that was the whole plan. I was like,
Brainwash me into drafting JT. Just
DJ
so you can
Moore.
take him.
no, I was a DJ.
Yeah,
Moore guy.
DJ Moore. That was Chazz.
I was DJ. He was good towards the end of the season.
Yeah, towards the end when they
this
threw in
year
Sam
was-
Darnold, he was slinging.
I know we always say it, me and you. Running backs are king.
I don't think
This-
it is anymore.
Not anymore.
No, this year was absolute horrendous for running
Yeah.
backs.
It
so.
really was.
I think quarterback's the king now.
Quarterback. Well,
Now, granted, I won with dog shit, so maybe not. I did.
Did you have Justin Fields in?
Yeah, and he had 7 points. So it's like people would think maybe there was so much controversy when we made that trade that just won me the league.
No, it didn't.
Oh my god, he was garbage.
That's not what won you the league.
No, like my team won me the league.
Travis Kelce,
He wasn't that good in the playoffs. It's
no,
Christian
but he
McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey for sure.
Yeah,
Travis Kelce had some good games, but he went through a little stretch there of
yeah, but like
low games. But
you would have thought. Like, so Justin Fields had those 3 insane monster weeks. His last 3 weeks in the playoffs were god awful. So, like,
Which is what we said would happen.
Yeah.
He was going to have those 3 good
Yeah.
games and then be horrible.
and that's why, like, I don't consider that trade even good for my team. Like, it didn't hurt or help. It might have helped me win the one game because I did start him for one big
well,
week.
it certainly didn't help me because my tight end position was really rough the whole season.
So you made a move and you.
But
tried.
that's one of the things that is always rough.
Yeah,
in
tight
any
ends for
fantasy
everyone,
football.
unless
If you don't have Travis Kelce, if you don't have, I'm gonna throw Dalton Schultz in there, who was great down the stretch. Dallas Goedert, Mark Andrews, who
I
sucked
don't even
without
say it was
Lamar
him.
without Lamar Jackson.
I think there was
Mark Andrews did shit.
I think there was. I honestly think there was 3 tight ends this year that were good.
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce, T.J. Hawkinson, and when he was healthy, off and on, David Njoku, and I think that was it.
Hawkinson's a good one to put there because he was great in Detroit and was having a really good season. Stayed healthy. Didn't
I'm
miss any
sorry,
games.
George Kittle. So 4. George Kittle was really good.
George Kittle, and then got traded to Minnesota, and then just maintained everything that he was doing.
And George Kittle turned it on with Brock Purdy. Actually,
He really did.
He did.
Yeah, if you had George Kittle,
He just
in
doesn't
the
healthy.
fantasy football playoffs with Brock Purdy, your tight end position was set.
But it was the same thing with quarterbacks. No, they weren't as good. You had Josh, Jalen, and Patrick.
Yeah, those were your 3. Everybody else was either
Lamar was great and then hurt. You know,
and he wasn't even doing that great.
He was. Great
was
at
running?
first, yeah.
He
But then
started
was
off
done.
hot, and then he simmered down, and then got hurt.
Jay could tell you Herbert was nothing.
Nope.
Really.
Tom Brady was ass.
Tom Brady was.
Tom Brady
ass.
was dog shit. Aaron Rodgers was dog shit, which we all saw that one coming. But
Yeah.
I still drafted him and still won.
Russell Wilson was dog shit.
Oh wow.
I mean, that's not
Mr.
surprising.
Unlimited.
Unlimited.
Hey there,
Although they
little fella.
didn't they just beat the Chargers? They did.
They
right?
did, yeah.
But I mean, whatever.
And then don't forget, speaking of dog shit,
Hey there, little fella.
Kyler Murray,
dog shit.
who just fired their coach,
well, it's because
and
that's
their
the,
GM stepped down.
Well, that's the reason they suck. It's not Kyler.
He
No,
he
obviously.
retired to play Call of Duty.
with Kyler. That's how he's going to
They're
teach
gonna
him.
squad up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cliff was holding
Maybe
him
he
back.
should have played with them and played online and be like, "Oh, nice KD, bro. Let's talk about that zone coverage read in the 4th quarter."
5 coaches were fired already. I think if I counted that correctly.
Yeah.
Matt Rule, Nathaniel Hackett, Frank Reich, Lovie Smith, Cliff Kingsbury. Right? Did I miss anybody?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So did you see who has the first overall pick?
It's Houston, right?
No, Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, Chicago has it.
yeah.
So they're in a
That's
predicament because they're sitting there with Justin Fields, who is
You know
not
what?
a good quarterback.
And I heard that there could potentially be a Justin Fields trade in the Bears' future.
Well, I would trade him because he's not a good quarterback. You have your chance to get Bryce Young,
Yeah.
right? Like, he's a way better
I mean,
prospect than
CJ
Fields
Stroud.
ever was. Young.
The Bears could fuck this up though, like
Well, they're going to. They're the Bears.
like Jacksonville did, not taking.
Hey, Jacksonville's in the playoffs.
That's true.
It's
beat
give
the
them
Titans.
credit.
Beat the Titans.
They don't have Hutch.
They beat
though.
a Joshua Dobbs Titans. No big deal.
But we do got to give the Jags credit. I mean, but they also have a fantastic quarterback.
Listen, they have a good quarterback
So-
who second year is rolling.
They also have Zay Jones. So.
Oh, yeah.
That's
There
Jay's
it is.
boy.
There it is.
Jay's boy.
Jay's man crush.
Zay Jones.
Jay's fantasy crush.
He was
Zay Jones.
He was good in fantasy, so
He was towards the end there. Yeah. He
Not
had
the
some
week
really
against
good-
me in the second last round of the playoffs. He scored like 3 points.
yeah. Well,
What's up, Dominic? How you doing? I thought I wasn't going to make it. I
Yeah, you
was
freaked out a little bit.
I was going to.
I remember you texting me going, "What the fuck?"
No, I was mad at George Kittle.
Yeah.
But this comes into it. So, like, George Kittle dropped 30 burger, and I'm like, this piece of shit, George Kittle, never healthy, crushing me. All my team players suck. But the trade of the year that I made does not involve you. It involves country music superstar Eric Van Houten.
The Devonta Smith trade.
Devontae Smith. I mean, he changed my team.
Yeah, that
because
was
when I got him,
wild.
he had 2 weeks of 7 points. Whatever. I traded away, who was it? Lazard and Darrell Henderson. Whatever. And actually, at that time, Darrell Henderson was the starter of the Rams, and Lazard was Aaron Rodgers' number one. But I just believed in Devontae Smith and believed in Jalen Hurts, and I solidified that number one flex position for my team, as opposed to Gabe Davis being my number one flex. You know what I mean? And I had so many 30-point games from Devontae Smith that literally single-handedly won me games. He's not my MVP. I gave my MVP to Christian McCaffrey, obviously. But, like, did that Devontae Smith trade change my team, I think?
We've been saying this all year. Philadelphia has the best 1-2 punch at wide receiver.
yep.
Before interchangeable with Miami, when Tua's playing,
I'll still take Philly.
I think I would still take AJ Brown and Devonta Smith as well, but
They're both close.
Yeah, I would too.
but they're pretty equal value there. Other than that,
Not Stephon Diggs, Isaiah McKenzie?
Gabe Davis,
No, neither.
No. Neither,
None either.
No, we're gonna get to Isaiah McKenzie. Don't you fucking worry.
So I just, like I said, that Devontae Smith was my best trade. When everybody made such a big stink out of the Fields, well, not a stink, but it was a little more like talked about, a little more controversial. But that's not what won me the league. I think the Devontae Smith trade, and obviously taking McCaffrey. Well, going McCaffrey, Kelsey, 1-2.
Yeah, probably.
Like, what a 1-2 punch, honestly. As opposed to my other league, say it was DeAndre Swift, Jamar Chase. That sounds sexier. But McCaffrey, Kelsey is what won it.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
It's a huge combo, and like I said, tight end makes or breaks any team. If you get a guy that can consistently put up the same amount of points every single week, you're at a solid advantage over majority of the teams.
80%.
Because if you're not getting Kelsey, Kittle, I'll even throw Dallas Goedert in there, who was really good before he got hurt.
I'm really
You're
putting
just-
it,
you're
if,
just
you,
done.
if you don't have Kelsey, and you got someone, because I mean,
True.
Honestly, Kelsey's
but Dalton Schultz was scoring 2 touchdowns a game in the last 4 games stretch there,
was playing
and
good.
Njoku was playing really good with their dog shit quarterbacks.
Dawson Knox is getting
Dawson
one
Knox
touchdown
turned it
last
up at
4
the
weeks.
end.
Yeah, last 4 weeks of
Like
the
the fantasy
season.
football playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The playoff, and that's when you need them, and that's when you
Yep.
want them, right? The playoffs.
Yep.
But if you just get consistency throughout, then you're set.
Yeah.
And a bad day for Travis Kelce is
Like 12 points.
15 points,
Yeah.
which is higher than the average.
Yeah. I mean,
Way higher than the average tight end in the league.
most people are happy with like 10 points from their tight end because,
Yeah, it's one of those positions where you're just
tight
like, all right,
end's
well,
shit.
let's see what we got.
yeah.
Oh, Evan Ingram. Oh, he had a great game, 34 points one week, whatever, and then the next week he had 2.
I think it was more than that. I think it was like 40.
Yeah, something
He-
like that.
he
had
crushed
like
it that
2 touchdowns.
one.
He had like 180 yards or something. Yeah, it's wild.
Well, so thinking of next year, sliding into next year, so we'll go to the brains of the organization, Tracy here. What do you think is going to be the your guys' plan of attack next year? Are you just going to stick to that running back heavy at the beginning? It didn't work too good for you this year. No, going to Jay for that one?
She's silent, I guess. I don't know. I don't think so because I don't. After this year, I don't think running backs are it anymore.
I took the approach in the Fantasy Football Bros League of waiting for a running back 2. I took Christian in the first round, and I didn't take my second running back probably till like round 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. And it worked out for me in the long run because I picked up Rachaad White. But my running back 2 towards the end of the season, oh no, it was fucking Chase Edmonds. But whatever, he sucked and he screwed me. But like my running back 2 was juggling between Rachaad White, Devontae Foreman, and Cordell Patterson. But because I was so good at like tight end and receiver, and Christian was so good at the first running back, that it didn't affect me.
Yeah.
It didn't affect me. So I could either start a running back 2 that's getting me 16 points and a tight end that gets me 8, or a running back 2 that gets me 12 points and a tight end that gets me 28. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed to work out for me this year, that route. But again, it was Kelsey. If I would have had Andrews, I would have been in the toilet.
Yeah.
True. Because he didn't play a lot of games this year.
Well, to be fair, like that's probably like the only tight end that I would probably take over like a good running back.
Well, Kelsey. We were high on Waller too, but Waller was just dead the whole year.
He got hurt.
Yep.
But he came back and was another reliable target for Derek Carr when he started.
Stidham.
Jared Stidham in the last game. But when
Wait, who was it?
Jared Stidham?
Okay.
Waller came back from injury and scored a touchdown.
Mark Davis, are you going to start? Derek Carr this week?
No. But your opinion really doesn't matter.
I still have that one.
According to Jim Irsay.
Really doesn't matter.
That was a weird move for me too, but I get it because they were eliminated from the playoffs. So like, let's see what we got with this guy. That tells you Derek Carr is gone, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's a free agent.
He's got to
anyway,
be. He's a free agent anyway, but they're not going to re-sign him.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Yeah.
He'll be a Colt.
Speaking of coaches again, though, how about the Texans firing 2 coaches in 2 years?
Oh, what are they doing?
Well,
we make fun of the Jacksonville Jaguars for being shittily ran, but I mean, come on.
But Lovie Smith showed them. They hired him to get the first overall pick this year, and he led them to a win this year.
Yeah.
But there's still a chance they get Bryce Young because maybe Chicago sticks with Justin Fields and does something else.
Maybe.
That could be. I mean, what do they really need? Defense probably is their biggest problem.
What, Chicago?
Yeah. I mean, that's if. Well, yeah, that's true too. But they have Chase Claypool.
Okay, but maybe. So
Yeah.
maybe.
And Darnell Mooney.
Chase Claypool's awesome.
And some other guy that nobody else knows.
I don't mind
It's
Chase
literally
Claypool.
all they have.
Well, we'll see.
He was horrible for them, though.
Well, he was
he
horrible for Pittsburgh too.
He's living off of one good game.
He had one good year because they had Juju Smith-Schuster, and it was like, oh, Chase Claypool's open. Look at this kid. He's great down the sideline and this and that.
Hey, I'd take him
Oh,
over.
hey, Juju, see you later. Chase, you're going to be our guy, along with Deontay Johnson. And then they both sucked.
I'd take him over any option we have right now.
Chase Claypool? You think Chase Claypool is better than Gabe Davis?
Yeah.
No, Chase Claypool had like 10 catches.
You guys have watched every snap of Gabe Davis.
I'm not arguing. I'm just asking you. I just want to know the answer.
Yeah, because I think I might rather stick with Davis, but Chase is a big dude too. But dude, Gabe Davis lacks one thing, and it's called catching the ball. And that's kind of
How
important.
about that drop? Oh,
That would have won me $300.
I would have won Country Music Superstar some money too.
That would have won me something.
Then he would have been able to send over his.
Then he would have been
fees.
able to send me his money. Maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll get it.
Chase Claypool stats: 46 for 451 and one
How many games? How many games did he play?
Let's see here.
12, 13. Not a full season.
No, he didn't play a full season. There's no.
I'm pretty sure he did.
No, because he
No,
didn't play
he
the
was
last few
definitely
games too. I know. But Chase
He did. 1, 2.
Chase Claypool, I would take over Gabe Davis. I would.
He played every game.
Oh, yeah, I thought he didn't play.
I didn't think he did.
I mean, he was also on the Bears with one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL towards the end of the season.
Dude.
And with a rookie quarterback.
Justin
Still,
Fields.
so
He would be probably a little
46
better.
for 450, I said, or something like that.
He'd probably be a little better
So
with Josh.
here's
Allen.
my question: who was the biggest bust in fantasy football this year? Do we want to go by position?
I
Or should we
mean-
is there just like one guy that just like takes the cake?
It's Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, JT for sure.
How is it not?
I agree with that.
I got no skin on him. But like, how is it not? He's the first overall pick, and he had like 1 to 2 good weeks.
Yeah, and he missed 8 games.
I think Jonathan Taylor's the biggest bust. But for me personally, my biggest whiff on every league.
Swift.
No, my biggest whiff on every
Chase
league was
Edmonds.
Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was one that was really kind of like, yeah, he's a late round pick. Well,
I mean, he's 5th, 6th, 7th round, somewhere around
yeah,
there in every league.
somewhere, they're on Miami, they're gonna do good things and this and that, blah blah blah, and then ends up getting traded to Denver.
I mean, look how good Jeff Wilson started doing when he got over there.
Yeah,
Chase Edmonds, absolutely nothing. Easily,
and Mostert had a decent season there.
he
He slowed down at the end, but he had some really good games. I had him in my lineup a few times.
You know what? So you know what Chase Edmonds is for me? He is my bruh of the year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's definitely
And then
fair to say.
And then so my MVP of the year for fantasy. Well, what do you guys think for the bruh of the year? You're sticking with
the
JT.
Nabra? Oh,
It's got to be.
it's got to be JT, but what about personal? Well, you guys both had JT, so I that makes sense.
Gabe Davis, by the way, 48, 836, 7
so
touchdowns.
So not that different. A touchdown.
I'm gonna go. My
Yardage.
biggest Nabra was everybody being so excited for Trey Lance, and he went and got hurt. But I have him in one league as like a 12th round keeper. So I'm going to give him a chance next year. Hopefully he comes back strong.
I mean, look at what Brock Purdy's doing in this offense.
Right.
Imagine, like,
I don't know.
you know
we're
what I'm
gonna,
saying?
We're going to find out what Trey has to do. I'm not on the Trey train yet.
I'll
Chazz.
be all in on him next year. Fuck, lining up Trey.
Of course you will be.
Trey Lance with
But,
Christian McCaffrey and Debo Samuel. Oh, Samuel.
I really do think that I think I have to stick with Jonathan Taylor, man, especially where he was drafted.
Yeah.
First overall in
All the hype and everything.
probably
and, like,
over 90% of fantasy football leagues across every one of them, every one of these platforms. It's got to be Jonathan Taylor. He had 1,800 yards last year.
Yeah.
I don't think he even cracked 1,000.
Probably
He's not even close to 1,000.
No.
For being the first overall pick, that probably screwed a lot of people over.
Jay, who's the player that screwed you over the most? Who is your bruh. Come on, like not just bust, but personally, is it just JT? Is it Herbert?
Oh, yeah. Herbert could be up there. I mean,
Najee Harris is up there for me
Yeah.
in one of my leagues as well. He was a first, second.
both
first
my
pick,
teams
second
on paper
pick.
should have been way better than where I was in the standings.
How do you feel going into next year about someone that you drafted early, Alvin Kamara? He was so up and down this year.
He really was.
Yeah, he was.
And he missed a game in there too.
In both leagues I had Kamara, I didn't make the playoffs.
I traded for Kamara in one league, and guess who I got rid of for him? Stephon Diggs and Najee Harris. And guess who would have won me the league? Najee Harris. I'm going to put that as my worst trade that I made. It was Stephon Diggs, Najee Harris for Alvin Kamara and somebody else I can't remember, but it doesn't matter. It did not work out. Kamara didn't work out. He didn't get nearly the points that he did the previous year, or with Drew Brees for that matter, because he just, I don't know. The Saints, but that was probably my worst trade.
I don't think I had a bad trade. I did my league-winning trade for Devontae Smith. I did our kind of neutral trade for that was good for 1 week, and then
Let me see if I can pull
in my other league, what did we trade? It was I got DJ Moore, and I gave you
I don't know.
some other receiver. Or Moore ended up being better, but not really earth-shattering or anything.
Yeah.
For anybody, but. That's it. I didn't make many trades this year because I either drafted really good or really bad. I'm sad about my whiffing on DeAndre Swift. But hey, moral victories, Detroit. You didn't make the playoffs, but
you stopped the Packers from making the playoffs.
But you know what? You
I reformed this bumble. He wants a job.
okay?
Looky what he can do.
Awesome. You had Bumbles lead the league in rushing touchdowns. Moral victories, Dan Campbell. Moral victories.
Running back in the league.
Best running back in the league is at home right now.
Okay, so here's the trade. Officially, it was Amari Cooper and Alvin Kamara for Stephon Diggs and Najee Harris.
I hate it. I remember you brought that up. I said I hate it. I said I hated it.
You did, and the reason why I did it is because I needed at the time a running back too, and Najee Harris wasn't doing anything. And my other running back was Raheem Mostert, who also wasn't doing anything. So in my mind, I was like, oh, Alvin Kamara, Dalvin Cook, perfect. But I also had DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, who were playing very well. So I was like, I can get rid of my wide receiver one, and I have some guys that have been really playing well. Christian Kirk was catching everything. There was a stretch in there that he had like 20 points in a row for like 3 games. Mike Evans was doing decent, but then he went on a really long stretch of not catching a fucking touchdown since week 4. And then, Amari Cooper and DeAndre Hopkins was suspended for 6 games.
Right.
So I didn't get him back until, week 7. And he was great with Kyler Murray because that's all he threw to. And then he got hurt. And DeAndre Hopkins went straight down in the dirt.
Well, I remember I hated it from the beginning, and I stand by that.
Yeah. I agree with you guys now.
Here's a question for you guys for the Bills for next year. We don't re-sign Devin Singletary. What if the Bills brought in Alexander Madison to be our starting running back and run 90% of the time? Alexander Madison.
Who?
From the Vikings.
Who?
Well, you like that Detroit brought in a career backup to start over an electric running back from
You're not getting
Georgia.
it here.
Who are you talking
The
about?
president, sorry. The president of the United States.
Yes.
Thank you.
So you
God damn.
So you guys,
That guy. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you guys like the fact that Detroit brings in a journeyman backup running back to start over a
I didn't say that.
very
I don't like-
dynamic
I didn't
Georgia.
say, I never said I like that.
I just like fucking with you because it's hilarious.
I ever tell you about
But that's why I think it's so stupid. And would you really think about it? I know you guys wouldn't, but how dumb would that look on paper?
Terrible.
Starting Alexander Madison over,
Absolutely terrible.
right? That's exactly what Dan Campbell did.
I think we can all say that James Cook is going to be the starting running back next year.
You would think, just like you thought that DeAndre Swift would be this year, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying McDermott's going to do that, but that's the same thing. And actually, it's even worse because last year, Jamal Williams was third string. So he brought in a third string running back and gives him 17 one-yard rushing touchdowns and not plays DeAndre Swift.
Well,
you guys
plus,
were one game away from the fucking playoffs. How do I just...
Well,
it's
Singletary also gets like 5 yards of
Well,
carry,
yeah,
and Bumbles
Singletary.
gets like 1.5
Right.
yard.
right. It's you know what it is.
Mind-boggling, isn't it?
It's just and I know the players love him. I can't believe if I was the ownership with Dan Campbell, I would be livid about that situation. But give it a chance next year because if Swift and a healthy Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown like that, and they have a top 5 pick probably because of the Rams.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Don't even get me started on the Rams.
They have 2 first-round picks because of the Rams. So they got
I know.
Jared Goff, who's better than Matt Stafford, and 2 first-round picks. One of them being Jameson Williams. One of them, so they ended up having 4 picks in the first round. The better quarterback, Aiden Hutchinson, Jameson Williams, and now a top 10 pick this year, and then a little later one because they had a better team. Like, what a fucking trade for Detroit. Now they just need a good coach who knows what he's doing. It's simple as that.
But Dan Campbell will bite your ankles.
Sure, he's a good coach. I don't know if he's a head coach.
No.
How many more coaches do you think get fired?
This year?
Yeah.
They're probably done, unless
There were 5 already, we said. I'm going at least 4 more.
I was choked on that.
At least. There's got to be.
Do you think? Do you think Jeff Saturday quits since he said after 8 games if he sucks he
He was interim though.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
but he
he's-
said that he might.
I don't think
he went 1
I
and
don't have
7.
specifics
so
off the top of my head, but I don't know.
I don't think
But
you
I
can
think
call-
there is going to be 4 somehow.
I don't think you can call.
drop.
Which drop? Oh yeah. This one.
Your opinion
Yeah.
really doesn't matter.
He's like, after 8 games we might find out I suck at this. Well, he went 1 and 7, so I don't think he knows how to make sausage.
Well, I don't.
so.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how to make sausage.
I don't think he's the coach anyway. I don't think he counts. But you said something about Ron Rivera. Not a chance. Almost made
No,
the
they
playoffs.
should have fired him years ago.
But they almost made the playoffs with Heine.
Yeah, but they almost made the playoffs last year, too.
Sure,
Or
like,
wait,
so-
didn't they make the playoffs
Yeah,
last
so
year?
he's not doing a bad job. You need a quarterback.
But he's not doing a great job either.
But you need a quarterback to win.
I mean-
and then he says something about Mike Vrabel. 0% chance. That guy's a good coach, and he just missed the playoffs. He needs an answer to Ryan.
I mean, they
Tannehill.
choke every year too. So I mean,
They do. That was where I was going with that, is that they've been in the playoffs.
He might be
and they
good,
can't
but
get
he's
out of
not
the first
great.
round.
The problem
they
is
can't
he's-
get out of the first round, and they lost to Jacksonville twice this year, by the way,
And they
who
were
is now
shitty
in the
QB.
playoffs over them.
Well, he's in the AFC with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like, it's going to be hard. Like,
I completely
he
agree
needs
with
a
you.
quarterback.
You're
Well,
absolutely right.
They picked their quarterback.
Yeah,
so.
and they were the first ones that extended. They extended Ryan Tannehill like 3 years ago.
I don't think Vrabel's gone. I don't think Rivera's
Sean
gone.
McVay could be gone, but that could be his own choice.
No,
so-
I don't think so.
He said he's thinking about it.
Yeah, again, I mean, he said the same thing last year.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how he
they're
can be
done.
burned out. He's 36. I mean, and his coaches are coaching in
I mean,
their like
they paid
60s.
They paid him a stupid amount of money, and
Exactly.
Well, he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. Bitch, you're the reason they're rebuilding because you traded all your draft picks for 1-year players.
right.
That's the reason you're rebuilding. Now you don't have Matt Stafford. You don't have Von Miller.
But Matt Stafford will be back next year.
Is he going to be good? Because he wasn't good this year.
Is he going to be good? I don't have that answer, but
Right.
he's going to be back.
So you got your 1 year from Matt
and
Stafford.
Cooper Kupp coming back from his injury. I don't know. I think that's really kind of
Well, they got the big money man, your boy Allen Robinson.
no. That's your boy.
Yeah, that's yours.
That's your boy,
He was
dude.
great this year, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was awesome.
What? One touchdown,
fantastic.
2
He's
touchdowns.
fucking awesome.
He'll probably get cut.
Remember when Cooper Kupp went down and everybody was like, "Yeah, this is really where Allen Robinson's going to shine." And then I think he caught 4 balls
And then got hurt.
and then got hurt, and all the white guys came in. the rest of their roster,
The rest of the roster.
Skoranek,
So,
Higby.
so let's head off of fantasy a little bit here and talk
Yeah.
regular football.
Okay.
We're in a playoffs.
Actually, yeah, playoffs. That's what I wanted to get to.
What's your Super Bowl prediction right now? No game has been played. This is coming out before the games.
Chiefs?
We're looking at Jay. We're looking at
Eagles, Chiefs. I hate to say it, and I love the Bills.
I think it's going to be Bills, Eagles.
the Beagles.
That's what I want, obviously.
The Beagles.
But you asked me what I think it's going to be.
Eagles, Chiefs.
think
Why
it's
would
gonna
you think the Chiefs?
What is
Yeah, Tracy.
Tracy's
What do you
prediction?
got? What do you got?
Bills and Eagles.
The Beagles.
The Beagles.
Why do
She
you think
wanted
the
to say
Chiefs?
Steelers, but we all know what happened
the
with them.
Chiefs. We've seen this song and dance. We've seen the same story over and over again.
So you
It's
know,
the Chiefs.
but the second round of the playoffs, they're going to end up playing the Bengals.
Good. Let them.
If the Bengals make it,
If
obviously.
the Bengals,
I mean-
they got to beat the Baltimore.
I'm just
Ravens,
saying, in
but-
general, if the Bengals make it, you can't just.
KC is the number 1 seed, but they lost to both the second
know.
and third.
And I'm
I
pretty
agree.
sure
I
that
agree.
the Bengals beat the Chiefs the last 4
All right.
times. So I'm just being devil's advocate.
Bills, Eagles.
Beagles,
Beagles?
the Beagles, the Beagles.
You know what though?
You know
I don't,
what I- you know-
I don't count out the Buccaneers yet.
I'm sticking with my original
I
Super Bowl
have-
pick, baby. The Bills and the
I'm
Buccaneers.
doing the same. I'm actually doing the same. I never count out playoff Tom.
Playoff time. So right now, this is here's
It's so bad, though.
I don't care.
it doesn't matter. Here's what they have to go through. They have to beat the Cowboys at home.
Garbage.
Okay, so they win. So which one? This one? Okay. So then Tom Brady the next week has to go through somebody like, I don't know, Green Bay or no, not Green Bay. I'm
No,
sorry,
not Green Bay.
They're out.
Seattle, the Giants. Maybe, depending on how the seedings work out.
Seattle could beat them.
I don't think so.
I think so.
No.
You don't, and I think they could beat the Eagles. I think they're just as good as defense as the Eagles. I think their defenses are comparable.
I think the Seattle could actually beat.
I don't think so.
The fact that Tom Brady is in the playoffs with his worst record,
With his
at
best team
8-9, with the best team he's ever had, do not count out playoff
I mean, I'm
Tommy.
not counting them out.
TB12 in the
It's just been
playoffs.
so bad.
Josh
Doesn't
Allen
matter.
hoists the Lombardi Trophy with a downed Tom Brady kneeling before him, with Damar Hamlin standing on.
Tom Brady did this on purpose to make us believe that he was done. This is a conspiracy theory.
He's been good the last 2 weeks too.
He has been.
So like,
Yeah,
I don't
last
think
2
he
weeks,
did. He
sure.
play the whole game against Atlanta. I don't think they
so,
even
no.
needed to.
Yeah.
Like,
I
he
meant-
started the
yeah.
game.
And he played Atlanta, so I mean,
but he's
Yeah, but Atlanta
he's
ended up
heating up
winning.
now at the right time.
He is.
Atlanta stinks.
He's got
I
to
agree.
play Dallas at home, and then he's got to play.
What happened to your Dallas Cowboys that you said was like top 3 offense?
They are top 3 offense. I don't know what happened.
They're
to
dog
them.
shit.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to them. Well, I don't consider them a top 3, but their numbers said they were.
Dak is
Yeah.
garbage.
No, he's been put on fantasy numbers. So you can't tie the two.
Dak is a great fantasy quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Terrible real life quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, Kyler's a great fantasy quarterback. Terrible.
I don't even think he's a good fantasy.
I mean, when he
quarterback.
runs.
Yeah, that's about
When he
it.
runs.
I don't think the Eagles have the juice. The Eagles, they don't play a lot of good defenses. And yes, Jalen Hurts means a lot to them. But like there's not a lot of good defense in the NFL. You got some good defenses in the AFC. So even Bills, Eagles, I'm easily picking the Bills. And I'm taking the Bucs over the Eagles if that matchup happens.
I'm taking the Bucs.
I think that matchup would happen in round 2, actually, because they're the 1 seed. But it depends on who wins.
I know Adam thinks KC is still daddy, but I mean,
Prove me wrong, dude.
I mean, they've beat 6 teams against the backup QBs, and they also lost to us and the Bengals.
mean,
so
How it's
I'm
not,
not-
they're not.
I'm not-
You can't have that scenario that they're daddy.
It was
But Kansas City can't. Kansas City's daddy. Then they beat us in the playoffs. But
To
since
be
he beat them in the playoffs,
to be fair. I still only said it for the division. They're still daddy, not overall.
I would say this.
You can go back. I don't know what episode it was, but it's out there.
This is the first year I'm the least afraid of Kansas City.
I'm more afraid of Tua if he plays this week.
I don't
more
think he's
afraid
gonna.
of the. I don't think so
Just,
either.
I mean, I just
I
think
think it
KC is pretending. I mean that
If-
they lost to us, they lost to the Bengals, and they beat 6 teams with their backup QBs.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
I'm not disagreeing.
They shouldn't even really be the number 1 seed, but
So in the second round of the
This
playoffs,
is going to look horrible on the NFL if they allow the Miami Dolphins to throw Tua back out there.
they're not gonna. The second
There's
round,
no way that they can do that.
But think about their second round matchup. The second round of the matchup, Kansas City's going to either have, hopefully not Miami, but they would get Miami if Miami wins. Jacksonville, but they could go against the Chargers. And I know
Jacksonville plays the Chargers, yeah.
lost to them, but like the Chargers could beat them.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Right?
100%.
They almost did.
And Miami could beat them.
Yeah, could.
I don't know about Jacksonville.
I think they could. I mean,
Okay.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I think
Maybe.
Jacksonville is going to be the sleeper of
Well,
the playoffs.
I mean, like we did say, I mean, they have beaten backup teams.
I won't
so
be
I mean,
surprised if Jacksonville
What if
beats the Chargers this
what
week.
if Trevor Lawrence goes on like a Joe Burrow run now? Right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
What if he gets to the
AFC
Championship.
Like I said, I think this is the year to do it because I don't think they're playing that good. Kansas
Chiefs?
City, yeah,
And you got to remember
I
the
think
Bills are
this
still
is-
hurt. I mean, we're all happy that Damar Hamlin is back, but he ain't playing. So now we're going with a third string safety.
Dean Marlowe.
Yeah,
You know, so that's why I don't want Tua to be back because that's going to hurt.
yeah,
You know, it's going to hurt against
Yeah.
good quarterbacks. So
yeah. I mean,
there's
we played
no
pretty soft
way.
on Sunday, so
There's no way that Miami throws Tua out there.
I don't think the NFL will.
I mean, Miami would do that. They've done it multiple times.
Right, that's what I mean. Miami would do it, but the NFL has the power to stop that.
Does the NFL really care about player safety though?
I think
we're gonna
now,
find
though,
we're gonna find out this week
We will.
if Tua's out there, because if they don't, and if he gets a 4th concussion this year,
I still
that
don't think
could
they really care. Just
ruin him.
because they're just gonna say like the Damar thing. They're just gonna be like, "Oh, it's a freak thing," blah blah blah. Like,
I honestly don't see Tua plating, and
No.
if they do, I'm actually really not that afraid. But
You're more
I wouldn't be surprised
you're
if he was,
more
but he shouldn't
susceptible
be.
to multiple concussions if you keep playing. Damar Hamlin was a freak thing.
Yeah,
We'll never see that again. Maybe
hopefully,
we're gonna see more concussions. Probably worse ones than Tua.
it's just
Maybe.
the amount of Tuas in
Is it-
1 year.
And that's the point that I'm making, is that he's had if this was his first one, okay, maybe we can work. This is going to be this, and I say 3 because they didn't diagnose it after the Bills game like they should have.
yeah.
They waited until he got almost paralyzed.
I mean,
Bengals game.
Mitch Morse has gone through. He had, I think it was the first year that we had him on the team. He had 3 in 1 year, and then he's had a couple more since. But
yeah, and he had a couple.
he
This year.
came on and said, he's like, "Yeah, I don't really care." He's like, "I know the risk. I'm playing anyway."
Yeah,
Well, okay, so let's get our last prediction of. We'll start with the wifey over here. Wifey, who is the NFL MVP this year? Who do you think?
Josh Allen.
Are you saying Josh Allen? Okay, Jay.
Homer.
I don't know. I think it's got to be Josh.
You think it's Josh?
No, I think it's Patrick Mahomes. And I can make an argument for Jalen Hurts, and the reason being is because they sucked without him.
I think it's Jalen Hurts. Because
And then
of
he
that
came
reason.
back and smoked the Giants.
Yeah, I think it's Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
Granted,
I could see Hurts, but
Granted, the Giants sat a lot of their starters, but the way that those guys play with Jalen Hurts in there as opposed to Gardner Minshew, is night and day.
I think it's for exactly what Adam said. I think it's Jalen Hurts because he's on fire. He looks great. He doesn't play. The team looks like a completely different team.
No, Aaron, it's not you this year. No.
Until it is, Aaron.
Please, Aaron, not this year. You didn't even make the playoffs. So just relax, okay? Just go home.
But
think
they won.
about what
But
you
they
did.
won 4 games in a row.
Yeah, but they didn't win the one that mattered.
I mean,
which was against the Lions.
He might.
And they
still
only
win.
put up 16 points.
is Joe Burrow's name out there?
Yeah, probably. But
I'm sure. Sure, it's out there. But
I
is he gonna win?
I think it's going to
No.
be between Allen and Hurts.
I don't think Allen's above.
I don't think Allen has-
Mahomes.
no.
Even he's got nothing on.
Allen's 3 on my list right now.
Yeah, Allen's got nothing on Mahomes this year.
And
Like number wise, win wise. You know what I
might
mean?
be able
Like,
to squeeze Burrow up there too.
I mean, he's only got one more win than Allen.
but he's got. I'm pretty sure. I don't know for sure, but pretty sure Patrick got more yards, more touchdowns.
Yeah, he led the league in total yards, total touchdowns.
Yeah, so it's hard. It's hard to say Allen over him at that point.
Right.
If you're just, but then again,
Although Josh Allen did become the first player in NFL history for 3 seasons in a row throw for 5,000 plus yards.
He's
and
also set a record for like
35 plus touchdowns
your first 5 seasons
and 5
too.
plus rushing touchdowns for 3 seasons in a row.
he's great.
Yeah.
He's an awesome player.
I'm sorry, it's not 5,000. It's 3,500.
We're so blessed to have him.
100%.
He's going to be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy this year.
Yeah. I hope we don't have to eat those words.
And then
Allen is actually 7th in pass yards.
yeah, as I was saying, he's not up with him.
He's up there in total yards because he has a lot more rushing yards, but I think even then he's still behind Hurts. So
Way behind Hurts. He's got like 600-700. I think Fields had over 1,000 rushing yards. So, well, that pretty much.
I mean, he's 2nd in pass touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's only 6 behind Mahomes.
That's what I mean. It's just like you can't.
They have almost the same interceptions.
which were a lot for both of them. Actually.
Allen's highest rated QB, Pro Football Focus.
Well, I've always thought he was a better quarterback.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's no argument there.
Well, this is the final week, maybe. We'll still have football discussions, but the fantasy portion of this show is over.
Yeah, but we have daily fantasies and
we'll talk about that. But we'll
about
keep on
playoff
track with the
fantasies.
playoffs and the football, and then after the football season, we'll have other discussions on other topics, music, whatever, and whatnot, and stuff like that.
Do we have victory laps this week?
We're already at the end. I mean, the victory lap, we're just going to keep to the victory lap being me.
Yeah, I'm a champion too, just in a different league.
That's okay. It's great that I won this league. It is
fun.
fitting. It's
nice,
awesome.
But even though it's Jay's and mine's show, we let you have it this week.
Yeah.
Or this year.
Even though we let you cancel it for a couple weeks.
Hey, if you guys want to put it on yourselves, you can, but you don't
I
have
do
to
have- I
know.
do have
I'm a
a-
champion in my own.
I actually
mind,
do have
too,
a victory
so.
lap that now that fantasy football season is over. Dude, I have no desire to be a commissioner of a fantasy football league.
This year was tough.
So my victory lap for the end of the season goes out to all the commissioners who run their fantasy football leagues, because
And the co-commissioners.
all of the shit that goes, and the co-commissioners, because a lot of leagues have those because they need it. Mm-hmm. It's tough. It's tough to be a commissioner, especially with everything that happened with the Bills and the
co-commissioner
Bengals.
and treasurer.
Yeah, Jay knows. I never go to make a decision without talking to you. So
It's hard enough to handle disputes throughout the season, and then you have something that happens with Cincinnati and Buffalo getting canceled, and fantasy football playoff implications that way, and how to handle that is tough. But there's a lot of work that goes into being a commissioner. I was a co-commissioner in a league, and I dropped that league because I couldn't fucking take it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you got. I mean, a lot of time. I mean, this year was actually really good money wise, but I mean, like a lot of there were years where it was like all season you have to bug people and
true. And not only that, but it's it's getting the money from everybody.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
holding
exactly.
on to
That's
the
what I
money
mean.
for everybody. It's making decisions that nobody else wants to make. It's handling discussions and issues that come up throughout the entire season. A scoring issue, a guy had some glitch and had Taysom Hill in his fucking lineup at tight end when he was quarterback, and that was an issue last year.
Yep.
On how to score him, and basically it was just whatever the website says, do that.
I mean,
so but that's really all you could do. But just all the inside stuff too that people don't see, between members of the league, and being a commissioner is tough. So my victory lap goes out to all you guys.
Well, I appreciate that, and it is tough, and that's why I surround myself with.
It's a thankless job.
It is, but it is tough, and that's like Jay's been co-commissioner in our league forever, and it's like, yeah, I come down with the final decision, but it's always I always run it by, and then when I was coming up with this, we had the whole conversation via text, for both leagues. Adam is weighing in on a league he's not even in, and that's fine, and I want opinions, even though
Your opinion really doesn't matter.
but still, I want opinions, and from our league, Dave, he runs his own league. I asked Dave what he was doing in his leagues as well.
We have to tell you how to make sausage, so.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to make sausage.
I don't know how to make
We
sausage either.
Fine.
I don't know how to make sausage.
But it isn't. It's actually a lot easier nowadays with the interwebs.
Yeah.
True.
And just True.
But there's
podcasts and just resources and talking to other people, networking.
Yep.
One good thing, too, is for the most part, we've had a core stable of guys.
Yeah.
And it's gotten... Every year it gets easier.
Yeah.
Like 4 years ago, there was bitching and whining.
Sure,
and stuff.
it definitely
And,
gets
now
easier when
that's consistent.
I run 2 leagues. So there's 24 teams, and I'm waiting on money from one person.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Let's be frank. He lives in Nashville, so it's a little tough.
Yeah. But it is tough.
Busy.
It is nice when you have the same guys keep coming back. You don't have to find anybody.
And I think guys stick around. It shows you're running a good league. Right. I think we have a good league. Is it because of me we have a good league? No, it's because of everybody. But if there's an issue, I'll take care of it. You want to talk about hard being a commissioner? This week was hard being a commissioner. Try being a commissioner in 2020.
Oh yeah,
with
COVID
that was
and everything.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Even coming up, I remember having conversations with you and John about what if a quarterback gets COVID the day of the game? You know what I mean? It was just you didn't know. Was
Yeah, I was. I'm not a co-commissioner in one of my leagues, but my buddy who runs it, he asked me for help a lot, just to help make a decision. Hey, what do you think is fair? What should I do here? What should I do there? That COVID year was a difficult year to be
for sure
in a fantasy football league as a member of the league, but let alone the commissioner and having to deal with all that.
And to think about how crazy the Cincinnati Bills situation was, with all that craziness in 2020, we lost 0 games.
Right.
To COVID.
Yeah.
Cancellation, fantasy football.
They moved them around to
we literally
fit them
lost
in, but
an entire game with 2 of the best offenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
Wild.
And a lot of people had a lot of players going.
Yeah, wild situation.
So it was tough.
As I'll take the thank you for the compliment, but people being logical and not being dicks and understanding.
Yeah, that helps too.
And not arguing. Yeah, I needed 46 points from Stephon Diggs. It wasn't going to happen. Yeah. He won. No problem. That's your brother. Your brother. It was a difference, I guess, between me and Chad in our league because we're talking about splitting. We're both winning money. But for instance, your brother, third place game, he literally gave up all money in that case. He didn't get any money out of it.
Yeah.
Right? But it was true. It was logical.
Right. Sure.
And that's awesome. So I'm surrounded myself with awesome people in these leagues. So it makes it easier.
Yeah, it definitely makes it easier but yeah, it's tough to do that in general. So for all the commissioners out there that run your leagues, kudos to you because I don't want to do it.
Well, we all appreciate it. Well, Jay, do you have any last words?
We got through this episode without Adam slamming the table.
I did my
But
best.
if you notice, I've been hanging on to my...
Yeah, but I didn't slam it at all. Even I saw you hanging on to it, and I wanted to, but I didn't.
And I was kind of resting it on my belly. It kind of works. I just dropped it there for the record. But it kind of works that way.
It wasn't because of me.
Wifey, fantasy football wifey, you got any last words?
No, I don't.
How about the Steelers?
They suck.
They almost made the playoffs. I bet
they just needed the Dolphins to
I'll share this right after the Super Bowl last year, after the Bengals and Rams Super Bowl. They said early odds on Caesars to win the Super Bowl, and obviously no free agency, no draft, right? So I put $50 on the Steelers to win a Super Bowl. And if the Steelers would have won, it was plus, I believe, 6,000 odds. So I would have won $3,000. The reason I did it was because it was at the end of the year. Ben was retiring. I was like, well, maybe they're going to get a good quarterback. What if they get Aaron Rodgers, right? What if they do something? I'm going to put the money there now. So, like, I was rooting for the Steelers to get in there because you never know, right? Like, so, like, it didn't work.
Will they make the playoffs next year?
I don't know. They're rebuilding.
From what? How are they? Well, we'll have a quick Steelers talk. How are they rebuilding more now than this current year? They got their quarterback, right?
Will Mike Tomlin have a winning record next year?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, because the Browns suck.
God, the Browns are terrible.
And there's a very high chance that the Ravens don't have Lamar, so they're going to be dog water.
You mean Tyler Huntley, not the guy?
I don't think so. Or Anthony Brown.
That's how it started this week. That's right.
Yeah. And I'll say
they made a little run against the Bengals.
I'm gonna save my Bengals dunking on because they literally beat a fourth string quarterback by 10 points. Like they almost like they just eked that out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
I'm a hold, and I would have been correct because I picked the Ravens to win the division, and if they would have won that game, they would have won the division. But
So did I.
It's
No,
okay.
I picked the Bengals.
You guys picked the Bengals. I picked the Ravens. So
I think Jay picked the Steelers.
I think.
Jay,
I think I did.
Jay picked the Steelers. He was on the Mitchie Biscuits train.
that's her fault.
I think
opinion
the
really doesn't
Steelers
matter.
probably
Your
need like
opinion
another
really
good
doesn't
wide
matter.
receiver and.
Well, they got Pickens.
They got
Yeah, I
Pickens
know, but
and
they
Deontay
could
Johnson
use-
still.
They could use another one.
I think they might need a quarterback. Well, we'll see. It was only his rookie year.
True.
Yeah, we'll
Who
see.
knows?
See what he's
Not
They
got.
always
out
got
on him.
Mitch.
They got Mitch Trubisky for one more.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant. Not
Signed
the
him
rookie.
for 2.
Well,
I think next week is our. What should our next week be? Our.
next week should we wait for the accountability show? Maybe we'll just get it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
we'll do the.
I mean, the regular
accountability.
season's over, so we already know division winners. We know.
If I can get into
What do we think?
if I can get all the research done and pull the clips, I'm gonna try to pull the clips to prove that Jay picked the Steelers.
Oh yeah.
That was under duress.
That's because he come home and she would hold a knife to his throat. Like, you
No,
picked
she
the
did that before I left for that episode.
She was sending him emojis of knives. Oh, you saved all the.
I picked Indy, Buffalo, and KC. So
Well, hold it off.
I
Hold
hit
it
on
off.
3 out of 4.
We'll look into it next week. I'll try to pull the clips too of things. And so for the songs of the week, I'm gonna do 2 because one is just gonna be goofy. So the first song of the week is going to be this one because the champ is here. Adobo.
I'm so happy this season's over.
I can't wait till next week where you can't talk about how
I'm
you're the
so
winner.
happy this season's over. Oh my goodness.
Y'all can't see.
No,
me.
you did have a good season, man. Congrats on the win.
Asterisk.
I will definitely give you an asterisk though.
I kicked both your asterisks. It's fine
100% asterisk
It's
on
fine.
the season.
because.
All I do is win.
But the second song, I'm going to do, don't necessarily like the band, but just because of the good week for Damar Hamlin and everything, we're going to go from a band I actually hate, but we're going to go with the song Beautiful Day by U2. Because it was a beautiful day today getting that information.
Why not Better Days by Goo Goo Dolls?
Yeah, I hate that band worse than U2.
They're both pretty bad.
Yeah.
So.
But beautiful day. That's what I thought today when I got the news about Damar Hamlin. It was a
was a
beautiful
good
day.
day.
So it was a beautiful day. U2.
Him coming home tomorrow, we're still praying for you,
Yep.
man. We're glad that you're still with us.
What's up, Pickles?
Pickles.
She didn't even get on camera today. Oh, you found her little spot.
She
didn't
did a
you?
little bit.
Yeah, she did a little.
She climbed up Jay for a minute and was like, nah,
Nah, bro.
going back over there.
I'm going to go sit over by the wifey, fancy football wifey.
That's right.
Well, wifey, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome anytime. Jay, thank you for bringing the wifey.
Yep.
And thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, too, Jay.
Whatever.
Adam, thank you for joining us.
Sure thing, man.
Both of you guys, thank you for all the backup and the help when it comes to deciding all this crazy stuff.
Sure, man.
Even though
Your opinion
Adam has bad advice.
really doesn't matter. Your
No,
opinion
Jay listens to bad
really
advice.
doesn't matter.
all right, guys. Enjoy the songs. We will see you next week on the Fantasy Football Bros podcast.
See ya.
Peace.
Later, guys.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.